What bread không mấy buổi rất vừa chiều thai. Shrift project 세계요지란 어그치부도 이렇게 explain.
Hello, Mr. Niran here. Welcome back to Hyrule Total War Classic Ultimate, my Submod for TheUndyingNephalim, or IceCreamMan's mod Hyrule Total War, based on the 3.7.2 release from December 2014. The Submod was first released during the summer of 2019, and this is the latest release from November 2024, fixed on January 25th, 2025. With a smaller fix, but last update was in November 25th, 2024, I believe. So we'll put the sound on 19. Alright, so the Sheikah, we already saw me playtest as the Sheikah previously. So it seems that the Goron settlement, Goronduga, we checked the map. Let's see here, something went wrong. The first letter is wrong. Togglefau. So this settlement and any settlement like it, or probably just this one, crashed whenever I start a battle as the Sora. However, when I didn't use rams and when I didn't use siege ladders and siege towers, it didn't crash immediately, and instead worked fine until I had destroyed the gate and charged into the city. Then it crashed when I charged the enemy inside the city, but with the Sheikah it didn't crash at all. But with the Sora it crashed when I charged with the Blade Monsters or the Sora Infantry. So the Sora seemed to have a problem with this settlement, whilst the Sheikah had no problem. So I believe it's just the Sora, and I have no idea why. If one of the units have problems, I don't know. But yeah, I had a problem when I played the Sora back in 2019 or 2020 or something, where they always crashed after winning this battle. They could, on Windows 7, they could play this battle without crashing, but it would crash immediately after. But when they fought similar battles in other areas, it worked fine. On Windows 10 I haven't tried the other areas, but I know that when we fought in this area, that it crashed when they entered the settlement essentially, and we were about to start fighting, and before they had reached the enemy. And when we changed the settlement into Gorgoronon, the capital of the Gorons, which is this settlement, it's different. Then it still crashed when it was placed here, but I don't know if it will crash if it's placed if we fight in this location. But as the Sheikah, they could fight the Battle of Gorgoronon without crashing, the Battle of Death Mountain Crater without crashing, and they could fight this battle without crashing. So it seems to be only a Sora problem. I have no idea why, but I suspect that maybe one of the unit's animations are causing it when they fight the Gorons. But the problem is that they can fight the Gorons on the battlefield without problems. So I don't know what is causing it to crash in the actual settlement. And if it's just this area, we could try fight the battle as the Sora here in the same settlement type. See if it still crashes. Then we know that it's the settlement. But when we fought in the Mablin's capital in this area, the Sora had no problems. So it seems that the Sora have a problem with the Goron settlements. They do not have a problem with the Mablin settlement in the same region, while the Sheikah could fight in the Goron settlement without problems. So I have no idea what is causing the crash. So we tried playing as the Sheikah, which made me want to play as the Sheikah. And yeah, we had played in 2021 as the Sheikah, I believe, a bit. Then I updated the mod and it got screwed over. But yeah, we will play as the Sheikah. We can move the spy. Can put this on auto manage taxes. We'll preview all the factions that fit that we try this faction now. So we are also one of the goddess worshipping factions. We can ask His Highness Demoko, the first age of time, to call cleansings against these areas. Denmark 3, the capital of the Miura, Church of Miura faction. Ikana, the capital of the Kingdom of Ikana, also known as the Cursed Kingdom of Ikana, and Arbide Grounds, the area in Hyrule where the portal to the Twilight Realm is located, the main area of the Force of the Twilight under Queen Midna. Demise, the capital of the Mablins. Luna City, the capital of the Labyrinth Regime. Grand Central Hive, the capital of the Goma Hive Spiders, and Ontion, the capital of the Dark Legion. Dek Prime, the capital of the Dek Scrubs in the Kokiri Forest. Tarm Ruins, the capital of the Fairies of Tarm, and Sorkarika, the capital of the Undead Stalfos. Alright, we have good enough relations with His Highness, the Sage of Time, so we can ask him to call a cleansing. He doesn't need to accept, but he could. But if we don't do it in time, he might call it himself, or someone else might persuade him to call a cleansing. So in this campaign on turn 1, no one has spawned, because everything spawns through a to the desk-script file instead of the desk-strat. When you spawn things through the desk-strat file, it will be spawned on turn 1 already, but when you do it through the script, it will take 1 turn until things spawn. So we have no faction leader, no general at start. We have 0 generals, we have 0 regions control because the Sheikah have a unique script where you can pick between the death stance and the shadow stance. The death stance is that you play as a shadow. The shadow stance is that you play as a shadow faction. The Kingdom of Hyrule controls all the land, including the Sheikah capital of Kakariko. Then you spawn armies every turn, specific turns, and then play independently of a settlement, and then when you conquer an area, 1 turn later it will turn into Hyrule's area, so you fight for the Kingdom of Hyrule as their ninja organization, which the Sheikah are essentially, which they are. Okay, so the Sheikah, they are like the Kingdom of Hyrule's ninja organization, but you can also play in the battle stance, which allows you to spawn an army and take control of Kakariko and play the game normally. And the difference is that when you take areas, then you will keep them, and you might be attacked by the Kingdom of Hyrule and others. But if you play as in the shadow stance, you will conquer for the Kingdom of Hyrule. My goal is to play as a loyal servant of Hyrule until the era of Zelda 3, which spawns on turn 91, because that's accurate. It's during Zelda 3's reign that Ganon revolted. So we'll try to aid the Kingdom of Hyrule until we are on turn 91 or so. We will avoid any actions that will risk our alliance with the Kingdom of Hyrule. We are also allied to the Oduna province and the Uka goddess faction. We are at war with the rebels, the wild animals, and the Stalfos undead. Our main enemy is the Stalfos undead. Okay, so we need hold 40 regions in order to win in the long campaign, including Kakariko, and turns remaining 177. We have forgotten to check the faction selection screen. Will exit the game. So we watched the video with full volume on, and now we want to check the faction selection. The Kingdom of Hyrule, led by Nylin Noens and Zelda 1, or Princess Zelda 1. They are the faction of which the Sheikah and the Oduna province, led by Mayor Bow, belong. So Oduna province is an independent province of the Kingdom of Hyrule. So they are led by Mayor Bow and a mayor, but their real leader is essentially Princess Zelda 1. The Sheikah, they are led by Lord Aganim, and he is the father of Zelda 4 in the campaign, and the husband of Zelda 3. And Hyrule starts with Zelda 1 here, which is, I believe, the grandmother of Zelda 3. So yeah. The timeline of the campaign is a little bit off, because in Nep's original campaign the Sheikah would spawn on turn 96 and Zelda 3 would spawn on turn 91. Zelda 3 will still spawn on turn 91 in the Freeform campaign, but Aghanim is available at start. All the factions are available at start for a fair campaign, because when I played in the past Nep's original campaign, which is also more like the Hyrule Historia campaign of this submod, then the factions that spawn late, like the Sheikah, the Visrobe, the River Sora, the Kingdom of Icana, the Forces of the Twilight, and the Stalfos, they never did any well in the campaign because they were too weak. All the other factions were huge empires by that point, and the new factions had no chance. Plus the Stalfos never spawned. Their spawn was set to turn 275 or something, and whenever they spawned it would crash, so the Stalfos didn't work, and the others were too weak to do anything. I believe the Kingdom of Icana spawned pretty early, so they did alright, but the others not so much. The Twilight faction would never really spawn, and so they didn't work either. They only worked in the Twilight realm back then, but the River Sora, the Orders to Visrob and the Sheikah, they did very poorly in the campaign. But by having everyone start in the beginning of the campaign, they do pretty well. The Sheikah are usually bad because they only have one area to start, but as the player they will do better. They're playing on very hard difficulty in the campaign, but battle difficulty medium, so the enemy won't get any bonuses. And no, but time limit, manage all cities, and we will have show CPU on. I will enable that. And our leader is Aghanim, Lord Aghanim. Strengths, highly trained assassin style soldiers. They are really good, but they have few numbers. Weaknesses, very few numbers, yeah, very few, but very strong. Okay, short campaign, hold 30 regions, including Kakariko Gorge, their capital area, Kakariko Village. Long campaign, hold 40 regions, including Kakariko Gorge, 5 turns. Kakariko area, 3 before Ganon is the year. Main color, crimson. Religion, strict goddess worship, so they can join cleansings. Culture, civilized, rival factions, none, but their rival faction is essentially the Undead Stalfos led by Lord Casso, this faction. And cordial factions would be the Kingdom of Hyrule, the Uka and Dodona province. They are under Lord Aghanim, they will betray the kingdom and their allies, so that's why they do not have any cordial factions here. And the rival factions, I don't know why they don't have the Stalfos as a rival faction, but maybe because the Stalfos originally were supposed to spawn very late game, so they weren't available at the start. But yeah, the Stalfos are their main enemy and the Kingdom of Hyrule is their main ally. They would betray the Kingdom of Hyrule in the campaign. As the AI, which is intended to strengths, weaknesses and abilities. Hide in plain sight. All Sheikah are able to hide from an enemy force in any condition. They can hide anywhere. Master assassins. Sheikah are highly skilled killers and can usually eliminate an opponent with one well-placed blow. Dying race. Strict marriage rituals and pure-blooded pairings have kept the Sheikah population fairly low, and as such their armies tend to be very small compared to other forces. Master manipulators. Sheikah are usually influencing the neighbor empires, particularly the Kingdom of Hyrule. In the campaign they are able to leech income and resources from their neighbors. To the untrained eye, the average Sheikah may often be mistaken for Hylian. This is largely due in part to the fact that they look exactly like Hylians, save their notable red eyes. The origin of the Sheikah remain a closely guarded secret, though many believe they may be the last of the pure-blooded ancient Hylians. The fact that Sheikah are religiously concerned with their bloodline and mating with other races is forbidden raises such beliefs. Other than this, virtually nothing is known of the Sheikah because they are a secretive people. From a young age they are indoctrinated into assassin training, and their body is forced against their natural growth to instead allow maximum flexibility. Every Sheikah is a professional killer, rightfully feared by all should one appear in public. Because of their secretive nature, the Sheikah don't have a large standing army, but rather prefer to kill enemy leaders before wars even start. Should the time come where war is the only option, the Sheikah can assemble their many assassins to murder an enemy army before they even have a chance to retaliate. Despite their unmatched skill at assassination, the Sheikah lack numbers and are prone to being killed off should they be surrounded by superior numbers. The Sheikah army would rather hide in the trees and fling needles at the throats of a marching army than show off in a bloody melee. Yeah, they are very few in numbers. Let's start the campaign. We'll skip the video now. this is their Sheikah monks, this is the soldiers of Aghanim, and this is their general. So this is unique Sheikah general. The Sheikah monks is one of their infantry units, not that good. They are like spearmen, using staffs in battle. They are better than their basic unit, but they are slightly above average for a Sheikah unit. And the soldiers of Aghanim are like the normal Hyrulean knights, but the Sheikah variant, they are, I believe, constructs and are not really they are mind controlled Hylians, I believe, so they work more like constructs than humans. They are mind controlled by magic, I believe. Sheikah Cadre, tidings, fellow Sheikah. Our empire has come to power. Your skill is needed to help lead our people and guide the hand of Hyrule. Knowledge is power, so heed it well before you begin the task set before you. The Sheikah have remained bound to shadows since the dawn of time. We've guided the people of Hyrule, prevented wars, and assured the will of the goddesses is spread by means that most would consider unethical and immoral. That is the price of being their humble servants, though. One must not fear to get blood on their hands to assure order and law. As such, you must be prepared to fight if the Sheikah are revealed at large. The people of Hyrule are becoming very difficult to manage from the shadows, and preventing wars may not be possible in the future. As such, do not fear to change your policy of prevention to that of supporting. Should an empire seek to unravel the Sheikah, then seek out another to war upon it. We have many manipulators within Hyrule, and with such passionate hatred building between the races, it will be quite easy to start wars between them to keep us in the shadows. In the end, Hyrule must prevail. The Triforce must be kept locked away from mortals, and the will of the goddesses must be kept strong. Go forth, fellow Sheikah, and may the goddesses light your way through the shadows that you must pass. Alright. Now we need to click this again. How to manage taxes on. Diplomacy, we are allied to the King of Hyrule and their province, the Uduna province, and the goddesses. So we share the goddess fate where it worked at rebels. A few areas at the start have rebel garrisons and are rebel. Wild animals, they have an area on the map. And then they have the stealth as our main enemy. We have no generals. We have some. We have Impa, Sage of Shadows, as one of the Council of Sages, and we also have Evaline for Sage of Shadows. So two sages. The reason the screen goes black like that is because of the TV. It has some kind of feature. When most of the screen is black, the TV adapts it for some reason. So we have this one using the general model because we didn't have a Evaline model. And then we have, of course, Impa, Sage of Shadows somewhere there. She has her own model. She's a general too. The diplomat of the Sheikah will be sent towards Hyrule. Fast forward on. So the settlement only crashed with the Sora when they attacked, not with the Sheikah, which is good. That it doesn't crash with everyone, so we will keep the settlement. But the fact that the Moblin Kingdom settlement, the demise worked for the Sora shows that there's something wrong with the Gorunduga custom settlement, or Gorfurgaru custom settlement. It is Gorfurgaru used for Gorunduga as well, and I don't know why the Sora can't play in the settlement when the Sheikah can. It's very weird. Okay, we'll just end the turn. We can't do anything more right now. We'll play with the shadow stance like we did in 2021, at least until Zelda 3 spawns. We'll try at least. And we will skip any info that isn't about the Sheikah. So we don't need to read any of the welcoming messages, and we don't want to read the events. We've done it a lot previously. We'll read about the heroes, the Sheikah, if there are any info about them, if there is any info. Okay, do we want to read about others? Okay, it sucked with Sora campaign that we have some issues with certain settlements. It would be more fun to play a campaign where we do not have that issue. Stance change. We are currently operating under the shadow stance, my lord. If you wish to change to death stance, inform me. Alright. You don't really wish to change to death stance. End of turn report. The Stalfos are the strongest our main enemy. And the Kingdom of Hyrule is holding Kakariko, our capital otherwise. I have 2 units of Highland infantry there. They're basic soldiers, and we have 1 unit of Hyrule Knights. They are better. One of their better units. Can speak to the Kingdom of Hyrule. Ask for map information. And can promise to attack their enemies. Rebels would make sense. There are any rebels available here? I don't know about that. Yeah, I saw the rebels there. They accepted. Good. We got their map information. They already they hold this area too, so we got their information. Kingdom of Hyrule. We still spawn some armies during certain turns, so we can still use our army after they have spawned in a few turns. We can move over here with Spy. Sora capital, the main prime. Continue over here. Runes. Alright, and we'll just end the turn. We can't do anything more than move the agents under the shadow stance until we have spawned a few armies. We won't use the battle stance because it would be incorrect lore. We want to follow the story, so Ganon will only revolt when Zelda 3 has spawned, and that's turn 91 or later, on turn 96 actually, in the Hyrule Historia campaign. Twilight faction spawned. We won't change the stance. Have to select that every turn. Hyrule spawned Ruru the Builder. Sage of Light. Can move the Spy. We want to know our surroundings, so we'll move over here. You know that Gorunduga didn't crash with the Sheikah, but it crashed with the Sora. Very weird. Tells me that it's a Sora issue. Here we have more troops, including mounted recruits, Alien infantry, swordsman recruits, 10 guards. We don't want to speak with the Kingdom of Hyrule. We've already spoken to them. Spawn troops during the next turn. Let's end the turn. Fuck. Yeah, we are using the Stalfos UI. I did the same mistake as with the Sora. I started the campaign without editing the UI using the AI.bat file. I started the game with the Medieval Total War Engine Overhaul Project tool. And when I do that, of course, we are using the same as before, the Sora UI. And starting up the game as Sheikah gave us the Stalfos under UI, the UI of our main enemy. You'll have to save and exit because I want to use the actual Sheikah UI and playing the Sheikah. So I did the same mistake again. I will need to remember to change the UI before starting new campaigns. Princess Zelda spawned, the Visrogue spawned, we won't change the stance. End of turn report. Church of Majora has the strongest military in the world on turn 4. The Uka still has the best financial situation, the Uruna province still has the best production, the Gorons have the largest population, the Undead Stalfos, our main enemy, has and rival is the overall strongest faction. Faction announcements, we got a lot of heroes on turn 4. Princess Zelda won, and we got Hero of Time Link. We got Bongo the Butcher, we got Ezreal, we got Impa the Killer, Sage of Shadows, and they got all their traits. So Impa the Killer, the Bodyguard of Truth Bearers, and when we use the Shadow stance we can hire mercenaries. We couldn't do that in the battle stance, so we'll hire a general and all of these troops. Then we'll get the option to add more troops as time goes by. We'll add more troops to Impa's army. We'll have evil troops in Bongo's army. So the blue ones I count as good troops. Ezreal was good as Ezreal, but Ezreal turns into Undead Malmod later and is kinda evil later because to save herself. She betrays everything she stood for, so she fits with Bongo. Soldier's Wagonin fits with Bongo. Link fits with Impa. Zelda fits with Impa too. Alright. The rest of the troops will be with Bongo. We'll move out the spy. The monks fit better. We shouldn't declare war on Hyrule. Alright, so we'll save the game here. And delete this one. Doesn't look good. So we'll delete these. Stalfos, Orduna, Sora. The Sora campaign is a bit of a problem. It says the Sora can't fight in all areas. Okay, but the Sheikah, they will have their own saves. And now we need to end the exit the game because we want the Sheikah UI. Then we place the Sheikah. Okay, and then we'll pick 5 for unnatural, and then 1 for Sheikah. The game will start. The new UI. The changed UI. It's not new, but it's changed. Alright, and I believe only one unit in the Sheikah army will crash on Windows 10, namely the Bongo Bongo hero. If Bongo dies, she turns into Bongo Bongo, and that's a giant. They don't have any other unit that will crash. However, some of their enemies will, so we will use the tool to prevent CTD or crashes to desktop. So we have to exit. Start the mod again with the M2V UP tool. And now we will be able to play the mod with the proper UI and without it crashing and there are guys in the battle. Alright, we're back in the game. Put the volume to 19. It's maxed out every time we restart the mod. End of turn report. Charge Majora as the strongest military. Stalfos Undead is the strongest overall faction. Alright. So Zelda with the bodyguard of Sheikah assassins. Impa with the bodyguard of truth bearers. Here of Time Link with the bodyguard of Skull Knights. Bonger Butcher with the bodyguard of Interlooper assassins. Thrill with the bodyguard of Sheikah monks. And Lord Aghanim Saint with the bodyguard of Kingmakers. And one army is kinda evil. We kind of want to send armies to multiple locations. Send spies. To all corners of Hyrule. Send an army here too. In case Gorons. We are not allied with Gorons, are we? No. Then we don't need to send them there. Let's move back. Oh, they have a bigger on. And in this mod he looks like this. He's slightly smaller. In the other mod, that's why the arms are a bit glitched. Of course the stat model is a bit glitched here. Because the skeleton isn't made for giants, but in battle he looks perfect with this model. But in 4.7 he has slightly glitched arms. Tried to fix them, but the model was half the size of the original bigger on model. And the animation was still the same, so that's why he's a bit glitched. If he had kept the size of the old model, he wouldn't have been glitched. Alright. So can move in this unit into the army. We'll move Link towards London Ranch. So we want to help the Kingdom of Hyrule in various ways. Other allies of us are the Dona province and the Uka. We'll move our armies. We do not have any settlement. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I really like the giant Bigoron model on the map. Alright, so we do not hold any regions, but we do have some agents we can move. Including a spy. We'll move over here. None of your province are taken. Gordalagra, which is using the same settlement model as this settlement, but I don't believe it's glitched. As the Sheikah, it wasn't glitched anyway. Here's the Goron capital, Gorgoronon. And they have their leader there, the Runia Sage of Fire, the bodyguard of Rab Guards. We don't need to attack them as we are playing using the Shadow stance. Let's just end the turn, but we will move the diplomat to send the turn now. Sheikah units are very good. Like we built, I believe I have the spy outside of Gorgon. No, that's why I was wrong. Okay. Gorons have also pretty big generals, but they got made smaller. An update, I believe. I had made them even bigger in 2021 during March. And then I made them smaller during 2023. They were still pretty big. Bigoron kept his original big size. But he was even bigger before I released the mod, but I mean released the strike model update. I overhauled a bunch of models, 86 models in 2021. Before that update they didn't have the models, and then on July 31st 2021 I believe I released an update from March that was unreleased, where I added a bunch of strat models, and Bigoron was smaller there than he was in my VIP pictures, but he's still the same size here as he was in 2021, while the generals are even smaller than they were in 2021 because they were too big. Okay, we will not change the stance. We'll move over here. We will place a unit here in case the Kingdom of Hyrule strikes there. We'll also move a unit over here in case Hyrule goes towards Ardorn. Or declare River Sora on the Udona province, one of our allies, and on the Lisselfoss and on the Kingdom of Hyrule, another ally of ours. We have a new general, the one we hired as a mercenary, Imsveik. Alright, and we have end of turn report. Udona province is now the strongest faction instead of Stalfos. We'll move over here. One of our spies in case Hyrule strikes there. And the Order of the Visrob should have spawned up there. So Hyrule won't be going there anytime soon. We'll ignore the River Sora, leave them for others to handle. Okay, we could send one army into the forest. Here we have Lord Acaso, leader of the Stalfos. Under the castle with the Wolf Lordmaster's bodyguard. Okay, so he has his original bodyguard. We will move here with the spy in case Hyrule strikes there. We want to play the battles in real time, if they do. Here's the general, by the way, unique model. Sheikah general. Looks like that. Okay, we will move a spy towards the Kingdom of Hyrule's capital. Here we have Fi, the essence of the Master Sword, Link's sword. Another spy spy over there. The general could also move. Bongo, the other heroes. No, but I think Link should move towards the Gerudo, maybe. And the Bongo could move towards the border with the Listalfos and Sorgariko and the capital. End the turn. Forgot to move the spy. It's fine, we want to keep an eye on the Gorons there. For now, we might move in the herder next time. Most of the Sheikah are females, but the leader is a male, Lord Aghanim. Right, River Sora invasions. We won't change the stance. End of turn report. Same as before, pretty much. Still to see sort of the Visra when the Gorons declared a truce. General Zoral of the Highlands there. Alright, here we have the Stalfos capital, Sorgariko, Hylian area, held by the undead. Move at least one spy there. We don't really want to waste our troops. We can avoid it. We do want to fight the battles in real time. It's an ally of the Kingdom of Hyrule. If we conquer areas for the kingdom, then one turn later they will turn into Hyrule's areas. This unit could move here. Goma general here, the huge Goma army. Oh, we have Carries the Ugly herself, the Goma leader. Giant. Since they're using her, that's unusual. Rebel Highlands inside. Rogue Highland soldiers, they are the same as the Tan Guards in their stats and looks, but lacking the feather of the Tan Guards. That's the only difference between them and the Tan Guards. They lack the red feather. Oh, we can move one unit out. We'll move one of the Sheikah monks out. Place over there. Spy could be moved. Move spy over there. A huge Dodongo army inside of Dodongo's cavern, including King Dodongo himself. Belonging to the wild animals, but will turn into the Gorons. One of the Goron generals, if he is killed for the wild animals, counts as him being captured or domesticated. Fee here too. Kingdom of Hyrule, River Sora army. Move this general. Move something here too. Move one unit of spies. River Sora army now, including raiders. Right. the diplomat. Let's move towards the Uruna province. Now we can end the turn. King of Hyrule is laying siege to Malkariko, where we have one of the spies, so we will aid in the battle, allowing us to see the battle. But Hyrule will be fighting it for the most part. Sheikah won't get involved with more than one unit unless Hyrule is losing the war. They don't want to waste their troops. They decided to charge. The Kingdom of Hyrule is kind of weak here. They have Malon. They've hired Malon as a mercenary. Didn't know that the AI could do that. They have 10 guards, Highland infantry, General Sorrow, the Highland infantry bodyguard. They might be too few to win. Draw from the battle. That might be a bad battle to fight. Your enemy have sallied forth to attack Hylian rebels. Okay, and yeah, we should probably just allow it because it's up to our ally to decide if they want to fight it or not, and they didn't decide to flee. So the enemy has a 3-2 advantage. We'll fight the battle on the battle map. We'll probably lose it. We will aid in the battle with our unit. Okay. Enemy Hylian rebels are holding the castle of Malkariko. Our ally is outside. They are not moving towards the settlement, they are moving back. We have the Highland infantry. Whenever the enemy sallies out, we do not get the option to fight the battle in. I used the Kamek mod, the advisor won't show. We need to click it if you want to play using the Kamek mod. I think our ally is retreating. If they retreat, we will also retreat. Our unit is over here, led by a captain. We have the Sheikah spies, like the weakest unit in our army essentially. Yeah, if Hyrule is retreating out of the battle, then we are going to retreat. But if they are just moving back to allow the enemy to charge out and fight, then well, it depends on if the enemy will charge out. I don't know if they can from this settlement. Might be a settlement where they cannot. And we might not just retreat and exit the battle. Let's fast forward. Takes too long. Yeah, they just regrouped and want the enemy to sally out. The enemy cannot sally out, I believe, from this type of settlement. Because it's a settlement without walls, but counts as higher than a village. So then there is a medieval 2 hard-coded limit where they cannot sally out. If you use any settlement without a wall for anything higher than a village, then they cannot sally out. It's hard-coded. So now they will just stand there doing nothing. Great. Then we will retreat from the battle. and leave the Hylian army to their fate. On exit, ended in a draw. No point fighting it if they are just gonna stand outside doing nothing. I won't change stance. We'll move back for now, so that battle isn't triggered again. You need the Hylian army to be stronger if you're gonna aid them. Here we have a spy. We have a Glade here held by rebel Keaton Cartel units. We have the Keaton leader, Halter there, that's the name. Keaton Marksman, Keaton Highwayman, Keaton Elite Highwayman, Keaton Saboteurs. Let's move over here. The spy. See the Visro barrier. Karok here, son of Nostrum, the official leader. Then an illusionist, infantry bodyguard. They have like the ability to teleport when moving. We have acolytes, geomancers, and Visro Hylian knights. They are neutral to us. Visrob General, Diplomat here, and the Goma General. Goma took Audorn. So Karis herself took it. Let's move our unit. We're stopped by the Goma there. We have a Suna army here. Gathered army over here. General Malborough. Bodyguard of Marauders, a really bad bodyguard for a general. Can move outside of Aloch. We have Finroa here. It's a giant in this version. Maglave Grants there too, and Marauders. Alright. Don't want to waste the army. Can move over here with the army. And let the spies move into the desert. Alright. You have a huge Stalfos army now. You hired Keaton's mercenaries from the forest. They have Urdi undead Hylians, led by Lord Cass, the faction leader. And they have some arms of Dead Hand. The settlement is held by rebel Cadre troops, including forest thieves and madmen of Farron. Alright. A Hylian army here, but only one unit. Let's move over here. Move an army outside of Hylian Marine. Could move troops outside all the Hylian areas, so we can fight any defensive battle in real time too. Okay, we'll move over here, the army. Our diplomat should move too. or Shorduna province. Now we can end the turn, I believe. Goal is to betray the Kingdom of Hyrule at some point and take over the map, but of course, or at least take over Hyrule, but we will not do it until Zelda 3 has spawned. Try and follow the lore in that sense. Oh, Hyrule sent a huge army to that rebel area. I will join the battle for sure. I hope they won't sally out, because if they sally out, the defending army will just stand outside doing nothing, expecting them to come out, and they won't come out because the settlement doesn't work well with that, due to not being a walled settlement. We have General Sorrel here and Malin. They went in with the army there. And we will join. A spy here. We'll put an army outside of London Ranch in case it's attacked. We have the general outside of Hylia Marine. Okay. Can have another unit outside of the Suna area of Parapa. They have units like the Suna Crossbowmen, Suna Tribowmen, Suna Merchantmen, Suna Tridentiers, and the real dangerous Suna Cigarettes. Send a spy towards the capital of Hyrule too. So they have 3 areas here. We have 1 unit next to Kakariko. Good. Move down towards the Runa province. This army. Down here with 1 spy. And this one could move towards Arbiter grounds. And yeah, these could don't know. We will send them. Move them back into Hyrule. Alright, and the diplomat. Come over there. He encountered an Dunian army. Farmer archers and Duna farmers. That blocked. Alright, we went too far, the capital is probably here somewhere. Okay, the spy. We have the Visrup fort here. We have Nozzle Rock, General, then Illusionist Bodyguard. We have Sia, the Hylian Wizard, General, Bodyguard, and we Nostrum, the Pyromancer, Father of Karok, the Pyromancer bodyguard. We have the false goddess Hylia, the Pious. Yeah, their unofficial leader and deity. Let's move up here. The spy. Now we can end the turn. The Goma move the Gitta, the diplomat. What's Cadre? She's also a general in the campaign that spawns late game. I re-enabled the script for that. There was an event picture and everything. It had been disabled, so she would be a starting hero. But I added her as a spawning general again. I made sure it worked too. So yeah, she's a late game hero, but an early game diplomat. A late game general and an early game diplomat. Kingdom of Hyrule moved out of the area of Malkariko. They didn't attack, or they were defeated. But I don't think so. We are there. I think they just moved away. We have the Stalfos now outside of Kanokiri. The huge army. And the turn report, Oruna province is the strongest overall faction. The undead have the strongest military. Okay. Kingdom of Hyrule moved outside of Hylia Marine. They have 2 units of mounted farmer archers. You can get those from London Ranch or from any Odonian area. If they hold any Odonian area, but they only hold London Ranch at the start. They can also hire Sheikah units from the Sheikah areas, but they need Kakariko for that. They do hold Kakariko. They cannot get all the Sheikah units, only the good ones. So essentially the ones in Link's army. You can get the assassins, the spies, maybe the troopers, I don't remember. They cannot get the kingmakers, so I thought they were too good. You can get the shadow cannons too, and don't know if they can get the second artillery, but certainly the shadow cannons and the assassins and the spies and the monks and the interrogators. But I don't know if they can get the troopers. It's possible. That's probably the best one they can get then, because they had Impa. If you play as the King of Hyrule, you get Impa, and she has that bodyguard, so I might have given them that bodyguard, yes. Okay, we'll move the army. Move this army towards Donna. Here I have now Donna, their capital. Speak to them. They are an ally. And we want to aid them against the rebels. Okay, map information. Attack fucking rebels. Fine. We'll accept. We're speaking to Mayor Bow, their leader. They're an ally of the Kingdom of Hyrule as well. They have farmer archers. Luna goat riders. Luna militiamen. Shepherd flock. And the goat riders of the bodyguard. Mayor Bow himself. Certain pictures are outdated, but kept to keep its style, even if the mounts have been replaced with more modern mounts. I think they moved back because they thought we were gonna attack or something. We moved the general away from there. Okay. Soldier model, general model of Gerdo. there. Okay, here we have Snow Peak, a rebel area of Hyrule, a Bishop outside. The Visrob are likely to take it. Held by rebel Highlands. So I could stay there for now. Another rebel area. Gather the rebel area. Blocked by an arm of Gyarados. They have the bronze knuckles too. Constructs that move thanks to their wind magic. And their capital Ashnon. Alright, we'll just move away with our general soldier. As they moved away their huge army there. A large army. You might want the Edonians too, they are an ally. We are not allied with the River Sora, so the battles between the Stalfos and the River Sora do not really concern us. We have Oduna on the map, so we have a huge portion of the map visible now. Stalfos are laying siege to Kanokiri. We'll probably conquer it. They have Deetle the Mauler side of Sorkariko Giant. Hyrule is back with an army here. We'll move the soldier, the spy there. Yeah, now we move towards Sorkariko. Move this army over here. I can move unit of Sheikah monks outside of the Donian capital. In case it's attacked. And another one could be moved outside of Mesodona. In case it's attacked as well. Another unit could move towards Timberfell. Keep an eye on all their areas. Move the main army over here. Move away from Kanokiri if the Stalfos take it. We had some armies that needed to be outside of the capital of Hyrule. We have General Arton, the bodyguard of Highland Infantry, the worst bodyguard of their faction. Town Guards, Highland Infantry, Hyrulean Knights, Highland Crossbowmen, Swordsman Recruits, Castle Guards, and the elite Triforce Vanguards. annoyance. Actually, we should move this one down towards Highly Marine, actually. Keep the spy there until the area is taken. Here have a Suna Diplomat. A Gyarados Priestess, which is the old Gyarados Diplomat, but it fit better as a Priestess. Had a different unit that fit as a Diplomat. So. Okay, and because the Gyarados didn't have all the types, so I had to do some edits to fill out all the slots. Okay, we will end the turn. This was only done to the submod, not the official mod. But I didn't want to change stuff that Nep wouldn't have done, that the original creator wouldn't have done. But in the submod I took more liberties. I did it more like how I wanted in the submod. I'm still keeping it fairly loyal to the original ideas, but still did certain things that probably the original creator wouldn't have done, just because I wanted it when I play. So the submod is a little bit more my taste, whilst 4.7 is more official. I didn't do stuff that the original creator wouldn't have done. Okay. So the Kingdom of Hyrule decided to attack, and they sent the builder here. They have Hyrulean Knights, Hawkeye Archers, they have access to the Hawkeye Archers. Hyrulean Maceman is his bodyguard. He has an ally, General Sorrel. With this army, including Sheikah Assassins, Lady Malin. Yeah. And the army, including mounted recruits, Highland Infantry, 10 guards, Swordsman recruits. Right. And they have our army. We will of course fight this battle. Your enemy have solid fort to attack Hylian rebels. Okay, it's them attacking again. That's not good. Your enemy has solid fort. Then it will probably end in no result at all. Just retreat. Training complete, got another unit. Can move on, spy to the border, the Gorons. Keep an eye on what is happening over here. Alright, relations improved, look very good. End of turn report, okay. An army outside of the fort too. We have minus economy, we can't hire anyone. Okay. Lanier province is sending an army here to take this area. They have Coral Lancers and Coral Archers, okay. Twilight Priest here, Avatar of Majora-Priest. Here's our better ground. We have a Twilight army, including Twilight infantry and soul nurses. So the Twilight faction is one of the factions that we haven't remade into HD in 4.7, so they are the same faction as in 4.7. They have different scripts here compared to in 4.7. The Gyarados capital. No general inside. Twilight might attack. They have a priest outside. Move this spy over there. Enable for Hyrule. Send troops there. This army will be moved. Move the diplomat up. Move Bongo over there. Thought we had more than one unit here. Okay. So we cannot do anything more right now. We will end the turn. We have a really bad economy too. If the units start revolting, we'll have to either use sheets with the money or use the battle stance. Well, let's see. So we get the settlement with income. Not good when we are minus. Won't use the battle stance. Cadre are laying siege to Ganondorf. Relations improved. King of Hyrule very good. End of town report. The Una province is the strongest faction, one of our allies. General Sidian has spawned outside of Hyrule. Your troops outside of Snow Peak Castle. Well, Visceral army outside too. Darknet diplomat outside of Arbiter Grounds and a Suna diplomat. Suna are a minor faction, but they are pretty strong thanks to those Suna cigarettes. Move this unit outside of Larusel actually. We have more Odonian troops here. Princess of Majora there. Move one unit down there. Should be a status area here somewhere. Move over there, the Bongo. There's one more Odonian area. We need to send an army unit here too, in case it's attacked by the Moblins. Send one unit here outside of Hylia Marine. Have a unit of Highland Crossbowmen inside. V inside of London Ranch. And Arton inside of Hyrule Prime. General Malkali outside of Malkariko. They conquered Malkariko. We have Rauru, the builder inside, or Sage of Light. I'm moving towards Kanokiri, held by the undead Stalfos now. Our main enemy in the campaign. They have a unit of Redeads too. They can chant, they are zombies that chant. Another Highland army here. General Sorrel and Lady Malin. We'll keep this guy here, this girl here in case they are attacked. Keep the spy here, see what happens. Diplomat can be moved. Okay, and then we have a link. We can move over here. We'll move this army outside of Timberfell, in case the area is under attack. General Gorillas here, Oduna province. I can end the turn. Hopefully the enemy won't attack. Our troops will have no areas. They could be wrong. At least ignore us, hopefully. So we'll only fight battles whenever our allies start the battles. We're on turn 13 soon. So Shadow Stance is just helping our allies conquer areas. And if we use our actual army to conquer areas, the areas will be given to our ally in one turn. We are essentially dying for the Kingdom of Hyrule, or for the Oduna province, or for the Oka. But especially for the Kingdom of Hyrule, because the areas will be turned into Kingdom of Hyrule areas. So if we take an Odunian area or a Moblin area or so, helping Oduna, it would not turn into Odunia, it would turn into Hyrule. Okay. Carry the army here. Relations improved, the Oduna province very good. Alright. Move this army over here. Down here. Alright, we have a settlement down here. Okru. And we need to check because there should be another one here probably. There is Exexoblin, held by the undead Stalfos. Undead Moblins. Place this unit outside. Continue our march towards the Oduna Fawn here. Alright, we move there. This unit could be placed outside of Okru. This Twiley soldier. The Midnight faction here, it's different from 4.7. There is just one faction in 4.7, so I used the Twiley infantry, the original soldier, but in this version of the mod I replaced the Twiley soldier with the Twiley repentance for the Midnight faction and used the Bone Mold monks for the Sandy faction. They have different soldiers and the same general. The general has different skins. Oh, the King of Hyrule is laying siege here now. Good. Haven't seen Zelda now. They might attack Sorgariko next. Capital of the Stalfos. Oh, the Stalfos has a really dangerous unit. Stallmasters. They might also attack Kanokiri soon, where the undead leader is, and he has a huge army too. They are too few to attack there currently. And they might attack Maldoriko, held by rebel Highlands. Would like to place a unit outside of Eldara too. So remove there, one unit. Could be attacked by the Kingdom of Icana. Forgotten about that area. And the Diplomat could be moved. Then we can end the turn. Need to check up on the Uka too. Maybe send a unit outside of their capital too if it's attacked. Stalfos might send it out. No, the rebels did. But I don't trust that, so we'll have to withdraw from the battle. It's the same settlement as the other. This area was kind of a village. Maybe it would have worked fine, I don't know. Training complete with another unit. Or declare the Kingdom of Icana on the Dona province. Probably attacked Eldara, so we were too late. Yeah, because they are not outside of Naladona. Kingdom of Icana over here. Unit of Shadow Keys and a unit of Skulltula Swarms. Skulltula Swarms were a unique unit for the wild animals. Yeah, we'll declare war on the Kingdom of Icana. They declare war on our ally. Relations worsened very poor with the Kingdom of Icana. Okay. Alright, we'll fight this battle. Save the game first. Use the entire might of this force. Stop deployment. Use the Kamek mode. I like zooming in the units. So Link is leading the army. They have too few units for it to be worth to risk using the third-person mod. The game risks it becomes way less stable when you use it. And as they didn't have many troops, we could just fight a normal battle here. They have the Shadow Keys, Bats, and then they have the Skulltula Swarms. Allow for it will. The cannon didn't have any spies, so we can send the assassins against them. So Link's hero ability, Goddess Blessing. Your soldiers will no longer fatigue for the rest of the battle, will use it. Princess Zelda's ability, Zelda 1. At order, all of your units fleeing the battle will rally to Princess Zelda. We'll use it when they flee, not otherwise. And through Impa, the chances of scoring instant kills is increased for our troops and decreased for the enemy. We'll use it later when we are in the actual fight. Sent one unit of Sheikah assassins. Don't know where they're Skulltula spiders or maybe they are hidden somewhere. Here they are. So these are the Sheikah assassins. These are the Skulltula spiders. They were unique to the wild animals before I added them to the Icana faction. Fit more than the Goma. They are not Goma spiders, and they are kind of in the area of Icana and are spooky. They fit better with the Kingdom of Icana, just like the shadow bats. And the wild animals cannot recruit any units and do not get any spawns after their initial troops have been killed. And I didn't want the faction to be playable or have recruitment because they can upgrade settlements, ruining the custom settlements. So it's better to end the units were wasted if they were in the wild animal faction, because there are no Skulltulas on the map, as an example. And spawning as the rebels is disabled in this mod. Though I did work in 2019 of adding all the spawns and such, but they didn't spawn because rebels had been disabled. I didn't want to change that, so yeah, I added the wild animal units to other factions like the Lanayur province, the Lissalfos, the Kingdom of Icana, like the Arrow Road as the Ratches will direct to the Lanayur province, and the Amplius crabs, Skulltula swarms to the Kingdom of Icana, and alive keys also to the Kingdom of Icana, but they can't get the alive ones in the campaign. And I believe the ropes to the Lissalfos. Yeah, the Skulltula swarms are pretty cool. Spiders look different from the others. A very common enemy in Legend of Zelda. Spending 1 unit of assassins here. Seem to be winning. We have not lost many. We do not need to use the siege engine. Actually we do. They are firing against bats, the keys, shadow keys, Kingdom of Icana. They are fleeing. One of the flying units, they work similar to the Odonian hawk flocks. We are firing at them with our shadow cannons. The Icanians, they are undead, but they are not a true undead faction. They are cursed with undeath by goddesses of Hyrule, cursed to relive their civil war for all eternity. They are not real undead because they have their minds, unlike the Stalfos undead that are just mindless zombies led by necromancers that have minds of their own. Well, the Icanians, all of them have minds of their own, except maybe the key spats and the Skulltula swarms. But their humanoid units have minds of their own. They look undead. Units are cursed. They're cursed with undeath, but kept their mind. Well, the Stalfos are just reanimate the dead, the Hylians and other peoples of Hyrule. So they are more proper undead. There are 2 undead factions, but only one of them is a mindless faction of zombies and such. We are winning against the Skulltula swarm here. Killed 79% and lost 4%. They sent back the keys, shadow keys. They are very similar to the Odonian hawk flocks. there is an alive version of these two. Just kill the last Skulltula. Oh no, the second last. There's the last one. We have an officer too. The captain. The Kingdom of Icana. Kingdom of Icana were not changed in 4.7. But they do have... they do not have the Skulltulas there. Skulltula unit was removed, I believe, from the mod. Thought it fit the best in this faction. Units were wasted if they were in the wild animals, as they didn't have any recruitment and they hardly had any units. We only had the Dodongos and King Dodongo, and they had some Araches and the Moldarach. We didn't have anything else, so they were kind of wasted. The rebels had some of their units, but yeah, I wanted them to be in a faction that can recruit them. So that's why I added this unit to the Kingdom of Icana, so it would be used properly. It's pretty cool. Spider unit. Wild keys were always a part of the Kingdom of Icana, so that's old. That might be their captain. Did our assassins go? Still have 25. Let's kill their keys now. Reveal the shadow cannon. Did it waste all its ammunition? No. Okay, it will kill the unit with the assassins. Should be enough. Continued battle. Killed 93% already. The reason we intervened here is because we want to aid Runa in the defense of Eldara, and we needed to defeat the forces that were in our path before the Kingdom of Icana takes the area. Okay, 94% and lost only 4%. There is friendly fire in this mod, so we don't want our cannon to fire at our own troops. We'll stop it from firing. Our assassins are pretty bloodied after that battle against the spiders and the bats. The only animals of the Kingdom of Icana. They also have some undead horses, but they do not have any other animal units. The rest of the units are undead. Icanian troops. Ancient Egypt inspired with chariots and similar units. Spearmen, swordsmen, crossbowmen, mummies, Garoninia. Alright. Anyway, our other heroes. We have Sage of Shadows, killer here. Use her ability, so our troops can score instant kills. We forgot to use it. We have Zelda 1. I didn't know Zelda 1 in our faction when playing as the Sheikah, using this unique model from Hyrule Total War. She was in the Sheikah under refugee protection by Impa, Sage of Shadows. So our enemy will just leave the battlefield and we will win. The bats and such could always bug out. I think the bats work better than the hawkflocks, because the hawkflocks couldn't really move at some point. They just flew around in a circle. At least these are still moving. They are retreating out of the battle. And we won the battle. Link and his bodyguard, Skull Knights. Could have used the Soldier's Wagoning, but I thought this one was more suitable for Link. Okay, it's better. Clear victory here of Time Link. 445 men. Sheikah, mostly women. Women lost 17. Men remaining 428. King 148. 13 prisoner. Captain Valgos of the Kingdom of Icana had 170 animals. Spiders. Lost 159. Have 11 remaining that fled the battle. They killed 19 of our troops. So Sheikah really elite, but few. Sheikah assassins killed 108. Troop bearers killed 10. And another Sheikah unit killed 12. So they killed 22 of the bats, probably. And the assassins killed both the entire unit of spiders and some of the bats. And then we have the cannon. They killed no one. Okay. This is Hylian Marine. One of the Hylian areas, a unique area of the Kingdom of Hyrule, under which the water temple of the Sora are located. So it's an important area for the Sora as well. Released troops. An entire army. No, only a few units, but General Kanita the Saint, the nobleman bodyguard, a good bodyguard. Could have already taken the area out. They have a general there. Scare them away. Alright. Kanita the Saint. They used the giant here, will use the cannon against her. Princess Gomez. She's a smaller giant. Still hard to take out without cannons. Have more of the spiders and the bats here. Have the same attack and charge. Same defense. They are the remnants of the troops we killed. Okay, I see. Most of the wild animal units had the same stats. I think I added some of them later to make them a bit more unique, but the bats and the spiders are very similar in their stats. I'd hope to help Duna to protect this area, but they seem to have lost it already. We have to fight the entire force there. Send an army here before the moblins take it. And we're doing an army here, including mounted farmer archers, goat riders, and basic stuff. They have numbers there. Move Bongo down. Here we have a captain of the moblins, including Bokoblin Footman. The moblins are like the orcs and goblins of Hyrule. Move this unit outside of their area of Okru. They have a huge army, including General Palanon, the bodyguard of Moblin Grunts. Bulblin archers or troopers, Miniblin swarms, and armored Moblin Grunts based on the Moblin Captain. I made a unit of the Moblin Captain. It was just the captain in the regional mod. Now this unit outside of exclusively held by the undead Stalfos. Undead Moblins here. Arms of Dead Hand and Stall Dress. Okay. Okay. Diplomat can be moved. Some new troops here too. Oh, the unit of Deer. And the Euro laying siege to Snow Peak. Okay. What happens in the desert? Cadre still laying siege here. Seemed to have failed at first. The Darkness Diplomat did, yeah. Let's end the turn. Disappointing that the King of Arcana managed to take Eldara before we had sent units there. Forgot about their area. Staffers might sally out. Sorcarico. We can try, but if it doesn't work, they have stall hands now. Stall troops. Will be a pretty cool battle. Sky Lords. Stall hands are cavalry. Yeah, we'll save the game. We'll fight the battle. The 3-2 in their advantage. So if they just stand outside, we will retreat. I don't want to do the same mistake I did outside of Naldorico, where we retreated and the entire army is fled. We'll try to fight it. Hopefully they won't just stand outside. Hopefully they will enter the city and fight. We'll see. The problem is that it's the Stalfos that are selling out. Start deployment. And start the battle. Stalfos are holding the plaza. They have these cavalry stall hounds here, light cavalry. They can actually kill, unlike the old version of the models that could only kill in the charge, but not otherwise. They were just as bad as the goats. These have a head that can actually attack because it counts as a rider. So they are more effective. That's the main reason why I used the HD model, and the main reason why I won't restore the old model even in a classic version, because the old model simply didn't work correctly. So this new one is better for gameplay reasons. So they are moving back their troops. If they are not gonna charge, we have a problem. Hopefully they will charge. Hylian infantry. Swordsman recruits. A unit of Sheikah assassins. Town guards. Yeah, they are charging. Perfect. Then I did a mistake. Maybe they would have actually charged in the other battle where I retreated, causing the entire army to flee. I was worried it would be a repeat of the first battle, where they stood outside, but if they have enough numbers they will charge, even if the enemy is the one selling out. Which I didn't really know about. Here we have Lady Malin, one of their custom generals, a mercenary. They need to hire, so the AI can hire her. Some campaigns it rarely happens. I believe it's random if they hire her or not. There's a Burger of Odonian mounted farmer archers. Also had mounted recruits, and unlike the Majora recruits and mounted recruits, they do not have purple faces. Stalfos had a lot of cavalry here, or they are heavy cavalry actually. The dogs, the undead dogs. The Stalfos, they're only cavalry. They do have a skirmish cavalry in the latest release too. The Visrobe cavalry, the birds. Yeah, this Hound unit would be kept in a classic version too, simply because it works better than the other one. A lot of undead Hylian soldiers here, and undead Visrobe mages, also used as their general's bodyguard in the campaign. Hyrule took over this place outside of the settlement. Battle has started here against the undead. Let the Highlands fight. Only intervene if they need it. The Kingdom of Hyrule had a lot of cavalry, despite the fact that they can only recruit cavalry from Odonian lands, Odonian cavalry, or from London Ranch, and their own cavalry only from London Ranch. So they should be very limited, as they only have London Ranch to recruit cavalry from. And the AI usually won't recruit cavalry, so I'm surprised they did in this. But they do sometimes recruit the mounted farmer archers and the mounted recruits. I rarely see them recruit any heavy cavalry, but they need to upgrade London Ranch, the main building there, to get the heavy knights, which they rarely do. Oh, here's the mage, the green projectile. Skyte lords, they are dangerous. Hyrule sent in the Hylian infantry. We killed 100% and lost 6%. They have an advantage in the balance of power. We can send our horn. Also send in our unit. It's fine. Check the other side, yeah. Just to see what they have. I'm really sending in more cavalry. They have early troops here. And lots of dogs inside the plaza. Mages and early troops. We want to use the assassins. I'm really sending in their troops. Swordsman recruits. Yeah, we shouldn't have fled from the other battle. It was a mistake. We would have conquered it. They had a huge army there. Anyway, we might get another chance at helping Hyrule take it later. The mounted farmer archers are really good, by the way, at killing troops from afar. They are really effective, and because of the way Medieval 2 works, the walls of the castle do not protect against projectiles, which is a bit weird, but that's how it is. Okay. Our unit is on the outskirts of the city. These are the Hyrulean knights. No, the Hylian infantry. The knight is an officer, probably. Some town guards too. cleansing the area of the undead. Swordsman recruits have reached this area. And Hylian infantry. We are fighting Sky Lord mages there. We will attack them with our Sheikah troops too. So Sheikah are effective, killing enemies, and we want to use them against their best unit, the mage. Swordsman recruits do not have any good morale. They are similar to the town guards, swordsmen in training, but they have better attack against infantry, and the town guards are better against cavalry. They are spearmen. We have 38 Sheikah monks here. They weren't spies, they were monks here. Still send them in. Here's our captain, Blood Wizard captain. We didn't have a general here, we had only one unit of Sheikah monks placed here, so we would be able to fight the battle in real time. They are massacring the Hylian army. Killed at 1% and lost 29%, it's very even. I think they had better quality troops than the Kingdom of Hyrule. It's the main reason why we sent in our troops. They have morale advantage, they never break. They hold the plaza and they are undead. Our troops might, the Hylian troops might actually retreat after a while. We want to help prevent that by sending in the Sheikah. Take out the mages before they fire at the Hylian troops and cast them to rout. Because we don't want a mass rout of the basic Hylian troops. They have low morale. They might still break. Town guards only consists of men, while the swordsman recruits are both men and women. Same with the mounted recruits, and the knights are only men. Then Hylian infantry, Hyrule knights, etc. are only men. The recruits were both genders, which is where they're kind of lighted. For variation's sake. Oh, they have a dog there, hound, undead hound. Right, their skateboards are strong. There's another strong unit. Stall Masters, a really strong unit. They are fighting here too. The Hylians are breaking through. They're light cavalry, the mounted recruits, the town guards. It's looking on the other side. Seems the Hylians are winning here. They might break. Town guards have reached the inner part of the castle, together with some of the mounted recruits. They broke because of the stall hounds, undead dogs. This is the first time I see the undead dogs being used like this. I believe when I played on an easier difficulty they didn't use them, and in earlier versions prior to 2023 or so they didn't have the units, so this is the first time I fight the undead with actual stall hounds. The old stall hound unit were worthless, but this one is actually pretty good. They can attack with their head. And still seem to be winning here thanks to the stall hounds. And here too. And they are fighting our unit. Our ally might actually retreat from the battle. we will sacrifice our unit, Sheikah monks, if that's the case. They have like spears, but it's more like staffs, I believe. The monks. We have very few units, only 16 standing. We probably lose the entire unit. Then it's up to our ally to win the battle. They might lose. Have to send another unit here then to be able to help in this area. It looks like we will lose the unit. Bad for the unit. Started to lag a bit for some reason. It isn't good. So the Sheikah's captain do not have any arms. He's using magic to kill our enemies. Yeah, the Hylian army was mostly basic stuff, town guards, Hylian infantry, swordsman recruits and mounted recruits. So they weren't that good. Hylian infantry officers that are Hyrule knights. We lost the captain, we lost the army, we had only one unit, Sheikah monks. We lost it. We'll break the Hylian infantry, I think. Hyrule will need to try again, conquering Majora-Cultist from the Sorgriko actually, from the undead. I believe it's the capital of the undead. The mod, the main base, so they are stronger here. With access to the stall hands and the stall masters. Might win against the Skylord unit here. We killed 52% and lost 62%. We'll likely still lose the battle. How is it looking on this side? Hyrule hasn't given up yet. We're fighting the undead Hylians. The Erde. Stalf's Erde. Fighting the alive equivalent, the Hylian infantry. There's some Sheikah troops here, Sheikah assassins. Hyrule had, because they can recruit some Sheikah from Kakariko as long as they hold it. They had some Sheikah too. I believe the assassins are better than the monks. In the original mod they couldn't recruit Sheikah, but they had access to some Sheikah if you played as them. Impa would spawn with the bodyguard of truth bearers, and then you would also get 2 units of Sheikah spies, I believe. Or 1 unit of Sheikah spies and 1 unit of Sheikah assassins. But in the submod I enabled them to recruit some of the Sheikah, half the Sheikah rows, the worst part, from Kakariko if they hold the area. So it made sense. Because the AI Sheikah will never aid the player. And the AI you hardly do anything. If you place the Sheikah, you can aid the Kingdom of Hyrule, of course. The AI would never do it. They would use turtle at Kakariko most of the time. Or take one area and then do nothing. So yeah, this is a very different campaign. Sheikah is the only faction with this feature, where you can pick between the shadow stance and the battle stance and act like Hyrule's independent ninja organization, conquering areas that will become part of the Kingdom of Hyrule instead of your own faction, and fighting battles like this while your troops are not seen by enemy. That's why they are not attackable, because they are invisible everywhere. Alright, if you hold areas on the other hand, then they will see your troops, but not as long as you are in the shadow stance. You are essentially invisible to the enemy most of the time. But if you are in battle stance, you will play more like a normal game, conquering areas for Sheikah instead of for Hyrule, and risking war with Hyrule as a result of that. Sheikah just broke. We're too few to win. Yeah, our ally lost the battle. Here is mounted farmer archers. They're retreating too. Alien infantry retreating. Town guards retreating. Sheikah assassins retreating. Swordsman recruits retreating. There are 38 of them here. 78. They are still retreating. They had a huge army, but they failed to win. Had this been the battle against the rebel Highlands, they would have won, because their quality of troops would have been better. But against the Stalfos at Sorkariko, they lost, because the Stalfos had simply better quality. The Erder is pretty much undead Highland infantry. Slightly worse stats, but with unlimited morale they still win. And then the Sky Lords mages are really good in both melee and from range. And then these guys are super strong, so no wonder they won. They also have those dogs, the hounds, that are really dangerous. Heavy cavalry of the Stalfos. Better than the light cavalry of the swordsman, mounted swordsman recruits. Here they have the Stalwart, Stall troops, they are also pretty good. Infantry, the undead. I will send back one unit of Highland infantry, they will probably flee soon. They are at a disadvantage in numbers and in morale. An epic battle. Take more to take back Sorkariko from the undead. Killed 63% of the undead. They killed 75% of our troops. Highland infantry broke. I don't know how many cavalry units they have left. They have no cavalry units inside. Weird. Here they have cavalry, I think. No. Early undead Highland infantry. Enemy General Fallen, Captain Exalfartius of the Stalfos, but captains do not count. Here are cavalry units. They are really cool too. And not worthless. I'm impressed that the AI recruited them. I've never seen that before when playing this mod. Usually only recruit infantry, even when they have cavalry. Except for Udona province and the Lanayur province, but they for the Gyarados, but for the Highlands they hardly ever recruited cavalry. And Stalfos they never did essentially. These are under Visrobe, mages, the Sky Lords. They were used as the border guard and the Sun Elite unit. Allied army. Highlands are retreating. They're moving back with the unit of Highland infantry. Swordsman recruits, but they'll break soon again. Then they will leave the battlefield. Break almost immediately. They're starting the fight against the Sky Lords. One of the best units in the Stalfos army. They are wavering already. They are broken already. Swordsman recruits are one of the worst units in the Highland army. Sky Lords are probably the best unit in the Stalfos army. Average defeat. So we killed, the Highlands killed 1712 units and the Undead killed 1165. Took 281 prisoner. So we still killed way more than they did. We lost 1431, they lost 1459. 59, yeah. But they had 1243 remaining. We had only 414 remaining. We had 1845 at the start, they had 2782. So they had the miracle advantage. Our unit of Sheikah monks killed only 2 in the battle. They were really bad. They are worse than the spies. Take 2 turns to recruit, unlike the spies. But they take 1 turn, but they do worse in the battle. They should probably be 1 turn, and the spies should probably be 2 turns. They are way better, the spies, for some reason. Maybe the monks are better against cavalry with their staffs. But the spies are better against the infantry for sure. We have Neighbor Sage of Spirits here, Gerda. And we have we have the Dark Knight hero. Whatever she was named. Yeraxanal. Another sage, former Sage of Spirits, I believe. Found it was the Sage of Spirits before Nabor got the title. We're on turn 15 soon. We are minus 5,960 rupees. We are broke. Doesn't matter as long as our troops do not revolt. We don't want to change stance. We have a custom general of the Kingdom of Arcana here. Got a master. Leader of the Garo Ninja troops. We have King Egos to Arcana himself. In the campaign, by the way, the undead leaders of the Kingdom of Arcana can turn back into alive versions, and they have alive versions on the map and in battle by taking all the areas that they need to hold that are Arcanian and killing off Majora and taking Majora Prime. Then they'll turn back into alive versions of themselves, but their troops will still be undead. Still, the C's Order of the Visrobe and the Mablens. Okay. Dona still counts as the strongest faction. Okay. We want to initiate the battle. So we'll place the army there. So they lost a battle. They took Malkariko, so that's good to know. So we lost the battle of Sorkariko. Send this army there, this unit there. haven't reached the area. We're blocked by our ally. Need to send another unit somewhere. Send this unit towards Sorcarico. And this unit outside of Kakariko. Move the diplomat. What is happening over here? Snow Peak. They are still laying siege. Ranayura sending more troops. They're blocked by the Visrobame. They have General Rutavalen here. The General's bodyguard of conscripts, the worst possible bodyguard of the Lanayur Sora. Lanayur province. Province of the Sora. Alright, and yeah, we could move Bongo's army. We have Aronian troops here. Huge Mablan army inside of Okru. Another big force there. We don't want to waste our troops against huge Moblin armies. But we could aid them in the battle. One unit. We don't want to waste our troops. The rest of the army over there. Here they have stolen an area, so we are willing to sacrifice more here. Alright, let's end the turn. Attack, we won't change the stance. End of turn report, the Dona province is still the strongest faction. Stalfos, we have abysmal relations. The King of Hyrule is laying siege once again to the area of Sorcarico where they lost previously. Have a Hylian priestess in the way. Move out the way. General Sidian and General Malkali here. An army. Have some better troops including the castle guards and the Hyrulean macemen. They have a repeated crossbow. They have Hylian crossbowmen. They might still lose the battle. We will aid in the battle. Move this unit towards Hylian Marine. Stalfos Necromancer there. Move the diplomat towards the Order of the Visro. We can speak to them. Map information. And attack faction. Attack the rebels. that. We want the data map information. We don't really need it. They only have one area. There are 2 units of Visitor of Hylian Knights inside their capital. Oh, the Garrod are attacking the rebel area now. Our mistake there of not attacking it earlier. The Goma are also sending a force. Not the strongest force. Garrod have General Malboro there. The Marauder Bodyguard, the same unit we checked out earlier. Have a bronze knuckle unit there too. And the Visrobe have started to siege this area now. Lanier province failed. The Visrobe. Alright. Link is outside of this settlement where they have Kalnita the Saint. Have a Canadian trebuchet here. Drafted basic troops, Shadow Keys, Sculptula Swarms, Gatekeepers, Boltman Crossbows, Crossbowmen, Death Shamans. Alright. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 15 units. They have more units than us. Could be an even battle. So you don't want to attack. Move down. Runa is still holding Malco. Alright. Over here then. Place this unit outside of Malco. In a Dunian area. Have a huge Dunian army. Forgot about that area. Right, we can end the turn. Another battle, Sorgriko. Kira army nearby, they are not our ally. The 2 large Hylian armies too, one under General Sidian and General Malkali, including Hylian infantry, Hylian crossbowmen, coastal guards, elite spearmen, their best spearmen, swordsman recruits, Peter crossbow, Hyrule macemen. Or even better than the Hyrule Knights. We have a trebuchet unit. And then we have Captain Osu Staff, the unit of mounted bomber archers, Hawkeye archers, the Sheikah, Ton guards, Hylian infantry, Sheikah assassins. This is consisting of the remnants of the army that was defeated, I believe. The other army is more fresh. Say the game. I think we want to fight this battle too. We have a 3-1 advantage. Just fight the battle on the battle map. It sucks that the Sora have the issue with the settlement. They are not as stable to play as some of the other factions. Despite being one of the coolest factions. Start deployment. Unit of Sheikah spies this time instead of the Sheikah monks. Start the battle. Use the horn. same enemy army. These are the really dangerous unit. Stall masters. Move troops inside the castle now. Right, their ally, Kingdom of Hyrule, will move in troops. Including these Sheikah archers. They are more numerous than other Sheikah units. Really good archers, but they are more basic in terms of their stats, not as elite. They have numbers. They are really good archers. It's not as good as the others in melee. Zoom in on the map. Started to stutter because I moved the camera too much. Could happen. We have the remnants of the mounted farmer archers from the last battle. They may have lost Lady Malin in the battle. We have a remnant of the assassins too. They used in the previous battle. Our captain, the King of Hyrule. Fresh unit of Sheikah Hawkeye archers. They have really long range. Very good accuracy too. Hyrulean Knights. That's good. Crossbowmen. And other stuff. Oh, the Stalfos sent out an army here. They are fighting the Hawkeye archers, that's not good. In melee. Fuck, they wasted the Hawkeye archers in melee. Should have kept them behind the infantry. Otherwise they will be slaughtered, they suck in melee. Really good from afar. Should be able to defeat those guys. We have the castle guards. The other troops too. Some undead here. They are fighting Hyrule Knights. No, Hyrule Maceman actually. In the official mod they were the unique bodyguard of Hyrule Builder and Zelda one with the coat from Hyrule Storia on but Hyrule Builder, the Sage of Light, used this as his unique bodyguard in the campaign. Hopefully the crossbowmen won't end up in a melee. They should only be used from afar, otherwise they suck. We have the advantage. We killed 11% and lost only 2%. They are still winded here. Might still scare our basic troops. Sent out the cavalry here. You can see they can move their heads, unlike the old model. So the head is actually the rider and can kill troops. Old model couldn't move the head. It was worthless in a melee like this with just sting ducks. Here I should be able to kill, thanks to the moving head. Charges they could kill in both models, but They needed a moving head to kill and they stand still. They are not the best, they are better against other cavalry than against the infantry, actually. So yeah, not really worth recruiting against infantry. If they do a poor job, they're not charging. But against other cavalry, like the Sheikah cavalry, it was actually a really good unit. The Highlands have broken through. Okay, archers are firing from here. They are charging. They're hounds, stall hounds. Yeah, they can kill the charge, as we see. They're effective in charging. And the head is better at killing other cavalry than at killing infantry when they stand still. They're not that effective against infantry, sadly. For them. Entered into the area here. Quite a few troops will try to go for the plaza castle soon. They still have some hounds. Khalid died, one of the Highland generals in one of the armies. Not the one that led the army, but the other one. Then died too. So one army lost both their generals. That means the army may break. How is the army doing? Fighting over here behind the castle against the undead Erdi. Highland infantry and castle guards versus the Stalfos Erdi undead Highland troops. And here we have the Stalfos best unit, best infantry unit, heavy infantry stall masters. They will probably win that battle. I think the Highland infantry will break, even with this reinforcement. Swordsman recruits. General fallen Captain Osu's staff, so the captain also died. Highlands have lost all their leaders in this battle. Alright. Yeah, Allied troops arriving from this side too. Probably defeat the Erdi, but those stall masters are the reason we might lose. They're really good. sent out the stall troops. 67 of them. Broke these troops, the town guards. Highland crossbowmen are incoming, they will break too. They are not good in melee, they only have knives. In melee. We have some troops here fighting their early troops. 4 mounted farmer archers there. Alright, I'll need to go and take a pause after this battle and go and eat lunch. We'll finish this battle, save the game, and then I will eat. Oh, the Highlands won here. The Highland infantry is celebrating. And the swordsman recruits are celebrating too. Good job, soldiers. Now they enter the castle. There are no undead inside except very few early. That's good news for this army. We also have some Sheikah assassins inside, controlled by our ally. And I will send in my unit of Sheikah spies against stall masters. They might need help. I believe these will lose. These Highland infantry will lose against the stall masters. Our ally sent the Sheikah assassins against them, but they are too few to win. Our unit of spies might also lose. If they are the basic Sheikah unit, they might be too sucky to win against the stall masters. Stall masters, they have really good stats. 10 attack, 1 charge bonus, but 33 defense, 1 hit point, excellent morale, can't hide. So they have really good defense. That's why they are OP. 33 defense and low morale too. Unlimited morale. Hylian sent out 10 guards against them. They will break. Our troops are soon there. What are they fighting over here? Stall troops. Only 13 of them. Will defeat the stall troops for sure. I always thought they were cool. They work more like under Romans. They point their sword in a stabbing move. Here is our Sheikah spy unit. We attack the stall masters with it. So the Highlands sent out these troops. The stall masters are too few to win. I believe, no, they are 9. They might win. They still think they are too few. Killed 85% of the enemy, lost 34%. Yeah, they will lose. Unless our troops break. They're even better than the Sheikah basic troops. You can easily kill them. As you can see, you can hardly hurt them because they have really good defense. Strong attacks too, so you can kill the Sheikah relatively easy too. But yeah, our range units, the crossbowmen, might be able to kill them. We can kill them in melee too. Now they have only 3 remaining. Yeah, we killed them with the Sheikah unit there. We won. Perfect. Good job, soldiers. Stallmasters are out. Highland army inside the castle too. Undead are total defeated, I believe. Let's see. No, they have troops outside. Reinforcements that are arriving. We have the timer. We have a unit of Erdi here. And undead Lisselfoss. Stealth Lissel. I didn't know they had a backup force. They will probably not reach us in time. We have the Stalkers too. An HD unit just like the Stallmasters. Stealthers would lose quite a few units if you remove the HD units. I wouldn't remove all their units, so I would remove probably all their units except the siege engines. Because the siege engines, they lacked siege before the HD version, so makes sense to keep the trebuchet and the catapult, but use an old crew if they are not already using an old crew. I think they are. Remove the other HD units. In a classic version, but every faction should have 2 siege engines. So that was probably just something Nep changed later, and he decided to add siege engines to the Stalfos. Maybe he didn't want that in the beginning. He wanted all the factions to have 2 siege engines, but the Stalfos didn't have, so maybe they were an exception originally. Then in the HD reboot, he gave them a trebuchet and a catapult. So. An allied force here. Allied trebuchet, I see. They're firing at the undead army. This approaching here. Only like there are a few units. They would fight to the death. So they would still be able to cause some damage. They won't be reaching us in time. Let's fast forward the battle. We have a repeater crossbow too, firing missiles. Old model of it. Shooting multiple. They destroyed their own rams with it. Killed quite a few of their troops with the repeater crossbow there. It's effective when it hits. Killed multiple, impaled multiple troops in a row. So killed 91% of the enemy, lost 37. Now they are fighting the crew of the trebuchet. Could probably defeat the crew. But now it's just 1 minute left until we win. Yeah, they will defeat the crew probably. They broke. Only 10 remaining, there were 41 in the beginning. Crews are only 41 for every faction. We still have the repeater crossbow. Let's continue the battle. So everyone will be killed. I mean every undead unit will be killed. They will take out the crew most likely. The repeater crossbow, then they will move towards the settlement and be killed. This is more realistic. So our troops, the Hylian allied troops, fled. They are hunting them until they leave the battlefield, probably. We have fast forward on. Now they returned. They want to move towards the settlement Had a unit of Arms of Dead Hand too. Now they'll move towards the city. They're too few to win. We have a unit of Highland Infantry, but only 27. Oh, Coastal Guards, 138. A lot of Coastal Guards there. They only had 25. Stalfos Lissel. 38 Wall Floor Masters. Originally used as the unique bodyguard of Lord of Castle. Made its own unit in this submod. Well, the Arms of Dead Hand were unique to Hyrule Historia. Stall dresser from 4.7 and 4.6. The undead will fight to the death, of course. And the Wall Floor Masters are really good in their stats. The Lyssalfos are not that good, they'll be killed easily. Soldiers are better, I believe. We'll also lose. The Arms of Dead and they are pretty good actually. Few in their numbers. They broke the Highland Infantry. God should be able to win. There are many. They're more elite. So the Arms of Dead Hand, they have 14 defense, 14 attack and 5 charge bonus. Hit points 2. Good morale, good stamina. Arms are really dangerously looking. They look really dangerous. Giant arms. Creature known as Dead Hand. They are not immortal. Took them out. Now it's just the final 100 Erde unit and the officer. 2 officers actually. One officer remaining. Kill their captain, Calfartius. Kill the final officer. All their troops are dead. Settlement is now in the hands of the Kingdom of Hyrule. We succeeded in aiding them, taking the area. Alright, so they killed about 900 troops. We killed about 1400. Right, but our Sheikah spies only killed 2. Okay. Killed the we took the capital of the Stalfos undead faction. Sorkariko, which is the Hylian area. Occupied by the undead at the start. Killed some of their best early game units too, but they didn't have their leader there. They had moved Detail somewhere else, the giant, and they had moved Lord of Castle to the Cadre area, kind of Cadre. turn 17, I believe. But Gorman outside of Gadra, the capital of the Order of the Visrobe. But they are not an ally, so we won't interfere there. Training complete for a new unit, we won't change stance. And the town report, Odona province is still the strongest. Diplomatic information, the Nephalim factions have declared that they are allies to Oronians and the Gorons. The minor faction of the Oronians, the manufacturers of the Subrotion and the tribes of the describes in later versions. Right. Cadre took this area under General Malboro, a unit of Daira Marauders. Yeah. Right. We got more than one unit. A general. Stealth of troops here, including General Zelda, Scott Lord Bodyguard, and the unit of Erdi. Counterattack for some reason. Kokiri army here, quite big, including a unit of Kokiri Minutemen. They are an ally of our ally, the Kingdom of Hyrule, and the Gorons and the Odona province, but we are not allied to them. Could probably use an alliance with the Kokiri. We don't want to ally too many, because then we risk angering Hyrule if they ever go to war against each other and take the wrong decision and such. It seems Hyrule wants to take Kanokiri from the Stalfos, but the Stalfos have a stronger army here. And their leader is there too, Lord of Casa, formerly General of Casa of the Kingdom of Hyrule. Okay, and yeah, that's the situation there. Areas outside the Moblins there. Can move over here too. Outside of this Oronian area, there we have General Halisel, the bodyguard of Oronian militiamen, the first bodyguard of their faction. They have lots of farmer archers and farmers, some other troops, hawk flocks, sheepet flocks, goat riders. Yeah, not the best troops. More troops, but here they have more cavalry, so that's good. Best units they can get in the early game. Let's move over here to the lands of Majora. Okay, let's check Icana. The troops here. Okay, and troops here. Let's save the game. Thank you for watching. See you on the next episode. Bye.